So you still don't think you should stay out the water? Well, here's some more sea monsters and river beasts that are caught on camera. Let's check them out.
Saw, or sea dragon, was discovered in a drained lagoon in Rutland.
I stood up real quick and I said, oh my gosh, it was kind of like we saw a dinosaur.
Seriously, Iceland has a giant worm monster. Recently, an alleged sighting of the mystery beast caught on tape.
What the So how did the worm move when you saw it? What kind of movement did it make?
Þetta bara svona eins og slanga.
Just like a snake? Like a snake. Oh.
Sightings of bizarre creatures and mythical monsters that tread the thin line between myths and reality.
What the
There's definitely something lurking beneath the surface, concealed from the naked eye. So prepare to be shocked by the massive creature caught crawling into the lake.
Can you see it? That squiggly thing in the water?
Gigantic, monstrous creatures inhabiting the freshwater bodies of our planet have been a product of human imagination for centuries. Apart from Scotland's Loch Ness Monster and Norway's Kraken Monster, it seems Iceland might have one too. Nearly a decade ago, a man made history by capturing footage of a massive long figure slithering through Iceland's cold waters. When the video circulated, theorists went wild, with some suggesting it could be a newly discovered species of giant worm. However, its wriggling movement led others to speculate it might be Iceland's version of the river monster. Many residents were skeptical.
I hope they don't jump in the water thinking that's a large worm. You might find out otherwise. You know what I'm saying?
About the creature's existence, and its origin remains unidentified, as it hasn't been sighted again. Stormy Creature. When a man decided to visit the beach on a stormy day in Guyman, Mexico, he wasn't expecting to encounter a bizarre unknown entity. The clouds over the ocean looked unusually dark, and the ominous sight became even more bizarre when the guy's camera captured a huge black thing appearing out of nowhere. Before he could identify what it was, the scene became even darker, making it impossible for him to see. The clip started a frenzy of speculation. Some thought it was the tsunami god, responsible for storms in the ocean. Skeptics said the clip was probably computer-generated. However, the truth behind it has remained concealed. Legendary creature. If you think fish are the only ones lurking underwater, then you're in for a surprise. Canadian locals were left scratching their heads when they saw a huge serpentine creature swimming underwater. With only short glimpses, the creature was truly a mystery. Netizens had a whole lot of theories. Skeptics dismissed the clip, saying it was probably a hoax. Others thought it was probably a prehistoric animal that somehow survived to this day. Just an aquatic animal or a creature from the distant past. Let me know what you guys think of this one. Kraken Monster. The Kraken Monster is a legendary sea creature known for its enormous size and resemblance to an octopus or squid. This mythical giant has been sighted many times in the past, and this particular clip is considered the most convincing proof of its existence. A group of fishermen were out on a bright day, but as they drifted away from land, the weather suddenly turned bad, with clouds indicating an impending storm. And right in the middle of this, they spotted a couple of long, tentacle-like things flailing around. No known marine animal could explain this sight. Although the footage is foggy, people believe it was a legit sighting, while skeptics dismissed it as a hoax. Without verification.
See, this is why we need to continue to explore the ocean at a rapid rate, so we can figure out once and for all what's all in there. Because if this thing is real, right, let's just say for some, by chance, it's real, the Kraken, we have no business being in that water. I don't care if you're going on a cruise. I don't care if you're going on a fishing trip, deep sea fishing, whatever it is you're doing. We have no business in that water if that thing is real and alive. And we can't definitively say if it is.
The clip remained an enigma. Lake Prespa Monster. We've heard of Scotland's Loch Ness Monster and Canada's Ogopogo, but now there's a creature making waves, the Albanian Monster. In 2022, an unusual sighting occurred in Prespa Lake, Albania, when a man out around the lake spotted something strange swimming in the water, bearing an eerie resemblance to the infamous Loch Ness Monster. The video led locals to believe it was Albania's version of a mythical creature. However, some people speculated it might be the periscope of a submarine, a legendary creature, or part of an underwater vehicle. One thing's clear: people are fascinated with the monster worldwide. Orlando Mystery Creature. While riding around the coast of North Carolina, a boat captain recorded a massive, unidentified sea creature. Swimming swiftly with a long, slender body and a visible part of its tail, the captain speculated it might be a dinosaur. However, this claim was quickly debunked, as dinosaurs have been extinct for millions of years. Internet folks tried to identify the creature. Could this be another massive aquatic creature? Or some mythical monster trying to make headlines? The mystery remained unsolved.
Look at that.
Pogo Sighting.
That's it?
That's it right there.
$1 million video.
Back in June 2019, while enjoying the serene views of the Okanagan Lake in Canada, a group of friends saw a strange sight in the water. A trail appeared out of nowhere, looking like there was something underwater. Theories of it being a river monster or a giant serpent circulated online. Another similar clip emerged only a month later in July 2019, recorded from the rooftop of a house. It showed a seemingly never-ending trail like the one in the last clip. It moved like something was slithering underwater. Locals were sure it was the Ogopogo, a snake-like behemoth believed to live in the lake for decades. The theory is famous nationwide, with people even honoring it with a statue. It's Ogopogo. Fish or monster? A group went out for a cruise exploration in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, when they encountered something they were unable to ignore. They noticed a flat whip-like tail swimming right beside their ship, and surprisingly, it seemed faster than the ship. But as the ship caught up to it, the guys were only able to see its shadow underwater, and whatever it was.
And see, I be wanting to go out on like yacht trips. Like I want to go out on a yacht trip out in Miami somewhere off the coast. Like I do. This stuff is ruining it for me. It is. I won't be able to enjoy myself. I won't be, because I'm going to be looking over the edge trying to see what's out there. If it get dark, I'm going to have a flashlight and I'm just trying to see. This is messing it up for me.
It was a giant. The group was sure it was some kind of underwater monster, while some folks said it was probably a shark. Now you guys let me know what you think of this submerged giant. Monster on drone. A guy was flying his drone over a river when he accidentally captured a baffling sight. Within the murky waters, it looked like something was swimming in there. Not thinking much of it at the moment, he moved the drone away. But later, while analyzing the footage, he spotted the giant creature. Posting the clip online, it sparked a frenzy of speculations, with netizens believing it was indeed a river monster. While some theorists suggested it could be any aquatic animal the camera captured from a certain angle. Snouted Mystery. A bizarre video emerged showing a strange creature found in a river in China, leaving scientists baffled. With its unnaturally large snout and body, the creature left netizens curious about its identity and gave wild theories. Some suggested it was a mutated alligator or dolphin, while others thought it might be an eel due to its size and somewhat similar appearance. However, the creature was unlike anything seen before, making it a real enigma for the viewers as well as the experts. creepy creature. A group of fishermen was out on their regular fishing expedition when they found something floating on the surface of the river. Looking like a huge blob, they pulled it ashore for a closer look and were shocked to see it, as it turned out to be the carcass of some animal. And even the more creepy thing was they had no idea what animal it was. A small yellowish body with bent limbs. The group had no idea what they were looking at. As the clip ended up online, internet folks jumped on the opportunity to try to figure out what it was. Some said it was a kappa, a creature from Japanese folklore, while skeptics dismissed the theory, saying it might be an animal whose features had also changed a lot due to decomposition. Ninjin. What would you do if a creature you had heard stories about growing up suddenly came up to you? When news about an unexpected pale creature seen in the deep ocean circulated online, people started to speculate its origin. Its oddly humanoid face and fish-like body led people to think it was the Ninjin.
Most of us gonna act like we don't see it. We're gonna look away from it, continue on what we was doing, and flee the scene, leave the area. That's what we gonna do. Man, just like I ain't see it. And keep moving. Keep it moving.
A Japanese folklore creature. Now, to make the mythical creature all the more real, a guy found this floating in the river near his house. A humanoid face, 2 front limbs, and the rest of the body resembling a fish. Locals in the region were scared to find the myth come to life. Others were skeptical and suggested the creature in the river could be a hoax. Petting monster. Either this guy is incredibly brave, or he has no idea about the dangers an unknown creature could pose. Standing in the middle of a river somewhere in Thailand, this guy was in very close vicinity to a massive creature. It looked like a snake with no limbs, but able to move underwater. While recording the footage, he had his hand on its body. Many people thought it was a colossal snake, while others had ideas about it being a monster. Although the creature remained unidentified, it's very unsafe to get this close to a critter like this, as they can be very unpredictable. Pale slitherer. When a group of friends decided to explore a cave in southern Slovenia, finding an inexplicable creature wasn't on their list. The ghostly white creature had a snout resembling a crocodile and a body like a thin snake, with 2 arms attached to its head and 2 legs near its tail. Its slithering movements in an underground lake were unlike anything the group had ever seen. Netizens tried to guess what it was, with some suggesting it was a baby dragon, while others thought it might be an axolotl. However, the lack of eyes and signature pink fins made the axolotl claims very unlikely. Water serpent.
She's coiled, yeah.
A team of wildlife biologists was out exploring the Bonito River in Brazil, and their exploration turned into an amazing find. Boating while on the lookout for wildlife, they noticed a giant anaconda chilling in the...
And why is that an amazing find? I feel like that's a horrifying find. That's a terrifying find. And I shouldn't even be out here to find this. No, thank you, bro. Leave that thing alone.
Water. Going in for a closer look, they decided to catch and measure it. Everyone pitched in to help to get the anaconda under control. The serpent was bigger than they could have imagined. Finally, they pulled it into their boat and measured it. And it turned out to be 19 feet in length and weighed almost 300 pounds. After measuring, they let it go back into the river. Strange underwater swimmer. A very strange sight appeared in the Jinki River in Thailand when an unknown thing was seen swimming in the middle of the water. Seeing how all the visitors were seeing the same thing, the clips is probably genuine. As it was partially underwater, it was hard to describe its features. It looked almost like an alien thing. Many onlookers speculated it was indeed an alien, while online theories said it was either some undiscovered aquatic animal or a mutated fish, as no one could tell what it was. It was left to the viewer's imagination. Yuma Bozos spirit. It seems the water is home to more folklore creatures than fish. Apart from monstrous creatures, there is a spirit that inhabits the water bodies of our planet. A bunch of boats were out on a nighttime expedition when lightning emerged, becoming a spotlight for a giant dark cloud-like humanoid. As the light stopped, the figure disappeared, but its big glowing eyes were still visible. People were sure it was the Bozo spirit, an evil mythical creature from Japan that brings on bad luck. Sacred for their safety, the guys on the boats decided to turn their journey back, leaving behind the question of whether the alleged spirit was real or not. Okanagan Mystery.
Customs Sergeant saw something strange in Okanagan Lake while he was enjoying his morning coffee.
Before you think the mysteries of the Okanagan Lake are over, have a look at what this family encountered while on a boat ride. It appeared to swim effortlessly from one side of the lake to the other, resembling a large aquatic animal, but had no idea which one. Later, as they returned home, they spotted the creature again near their house.
A few hours later, my wife followed us back and came right on shore in front of our house,
showing its swimming abilities. Many on the internet speculated it was the Canadian lake monster. However, a wildlife expert suggested it might be a moose, as they are known to be comfortable swimmers and naturally buoyant. And I think its big head with ears did resemble a moose. Mystery creature. A fish with crab-like claws. This guy sure has caught the most bizarre-looking fish. As he felt the unmistakable tug on his line, he reeled in the catch and couldn't wrap his head around the odd-looking thing. A tiny body resembling a fish, and instead of fins, it had two limbs that ended in fork-like claws. As he poked it with his spatula, the fish jumped around. I seriously have no clue what this is. If you got any guesses, be sure to
It don't even look like it's gasping for air, like it really need air. It look like it could survive on land. This had to be created in a laboratory somewhere, man. Look at this thing. You just so happen to get, some kind of catfish-looking things with crab claws attached to it? Yeah, laboratory fish. Gotta be.
share them. Bubbling Anomaly.
What the
Going out on a boating ride, this guy was expecting to see regular fish and other aquatic life, but unexpectedly came face to face with an eerie phenomenon. Sitting in the boat, he noticed a strange disturbance in the water, and within seconds, a loud series of dark splashes emerged near the boat. It looked like there was something under there making the water bubble like this. The guy got scared seeing the anomalous bubbles and rowed away his boat unharmed. Now, if you guys have any idea what this creature was in the clip, let me know in the comments. Scary river encounter. Now, let's take a break from mythical creatures and have a look at what this guy encountered in a river. At first, it looked like a big fish with its mouth wide open. But as the guy went in for a closer look, a pointy snout peeked out and he found that it was in fact a gator. Realizing the danger of an open-mouthed gator, the guy backed away, and thankfully remained safe, as it would have taken a second for the reptile to leap out of the water. Slithery monster. Unlike the reports of unknown creatures, sometimes accompanied by a blurry photograph taken at some distance, here we have this clip that's considered one of the most authentic. A family's lake trip turned upside down when they witnessed this giant slithery creature swimming in the water, with only a part of it visible at first. A few seconds later, the rest of its body surfaced, making its size obvious. and it seemed huge. Speculations about it being a monstrous being refuging underwater ran wild on the internet. Some even said it was a disguised alien ship. However, with no investigation into it, the clip was left unidentified. Globster.
All right, now remember now, if that's whale puke, that's worth a lot of money now. So I look at stuff, I used to look at this as like, oh, what? No, what is that? No, I'm looking at it totally different. If that's whale, not poop, but whale throw up, vomit, that's worth a lot of money. A lot of money.
These clips of a gigantic blob lying on the ground created a lot of controversy online. A mysterious sea creature known as a globster washed up on a beach in Oriental Mindoro Province, Philippines, leaving locals confused. The hairy 20-foot-long pale mass sparked rumors of an impending natural disaster. Many residents flocked to the beach to see the strange sight. Authorities believe the globster is likely the remains of a whale. Samples were taken for DNA analysis to confirm its identity. Globsters appear on beaches worldwide and typically turn out to be parts of whales or sharks. Creepy skeleton. A guy was out walking around his house when he stumbled upon the most creepy thing. Lying on the wet ground was the corpse of what looked like an unknown creature. Going in for a closer look, he noticed that the carcass was really tiny with a humanoid skull, but its lower body resembled a fish's tail. The guy's mind brimmed with questions. What was that critter? How did it end up there? With no answers, he posted the clip online, and internet folks speculated that it was a baby mermaid. But with nothing to prove the claim, the clip remained a mystery. Splashy monster. Residents near Masani Springs River, New York were barely handling a pipeline installation project when they witnessed a very strange situation. The river flowing by their houses seemed to be taken over by a massively long creature, and it seemed to be splashing water to make its presence known. The locals were sure it was a giant water snake. Others thought the workers had probably released a sewer creature into the river. Locals asked the authorities to intervene and waited to find if there really was a creature in the river or if it was something else. Singaporean Mystery. A man took a walk along the Geylang River in Singapore, but what he encountered left him and other onlookers completely baffled. Swimming swiftly in the water was a strange fish-like thing with a small dark body, a slithering tail, and whiskers around its mouth. An anomaly by all accounts. Some speculated it might be a catfish, while others believed it could be an unidentified new organism. What do you think? Is it a juvenile catfish or something entirely different? Let us know in the comments. Pacific football fish.
When people say they want to bring football back to San Diego, this is certainly not what they mean.
A couple years back, a fish was found on a San Diego beach. A completely jet black body with an antenna-like thing on its head and a seemingly never-ending set of sharp teeth. Everyone who saw it had no idea what kind of fish it was. But then, a marine biologist came forward revealing that it was a rare Pacific football fish.
Maybe about that big, about the size of a soccer ball, hence the name.
A deep-sea angler fish, as it usually lives pretty deep in the ocean, usually below 2,000 feet. Its soccer ball-sized body gave it its name, and that thing on its head glowed in the dark depths. The monstrous fish was almost alien. Scientists aren't sure why this deep-sea creature washed up, but it sure provided a chance to learn more about one of the most elusive fish. Sea serpent. A sea creature that looks like it came straight out of a sci-fi horror. Its unusual body and creepy movements earned it the name of a sea serpent. With a long single row of fins and no apparent gills, it slithers in the water. And these guys seem to have encountered one. One of the guys tried to handle it by holding its head, but it wasn't an easy job to control this massive one. But don't worry, these giants are pretty gentle. With small mouths and no teeth, they can only eat small fish and plankton. However, in some cultures, they are superstitious about these fish, and their apparition is considered bad news. Murky creature. Murky waters can be home to all kinds of unknown creatures, like this one. Swimming underneath the swampy water, the guy who encountered this had no idea what it was. Only its dark body slithering on and out of view was visible. Everyone had their own theory about it. Some thought it was a baby monster. Others gave it a bit more rational theory, saying it could be an eel, but nothing.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe an electric eel, which, oh my God, I forget about those things. So, man, y'all be careful jumping in these lakes and waters, bodies of water, man, because one just swim right by you, rub up against you, and good night, Irene. You're going to go night-night for a little bit, bro. Depending on how long he stay on you, you might not wake up. So be careful, fam. I be forgetting about the eels just swimming along casually.
Nothing could be said for sure, as it never emerged out of the water. Underwater glow. Going for a nighttime walk on the beach turned into an encounter with the unknown when these guys came across something they had no explanation for. At a distance from the ground, they noticed a strange glow coming from under the water. The green glow was spread out in a giant sphere. Every onlooker had their own theories about the strange glow. Some thought it was caused by bioluminescence, but as it was spread only on a small part of the ocean, which made it even seem more strange. Someone even said that the glow was coming from the underwater alien base. But with no confirmation on any of the claims, the clip remained an unsolved mystery. Monstrous fish.
Hard as you can, double dip. Give me line.
During a fishing trip, this group's day took an exciting turn when something enormous took the bait. Everyone gathered eagerly to see the catch.
Oh, guys. Look at the size of that fish.
As they struggled to haul it into the boat, one of the men got into the water and discovered they had hooked a gigantic sturgeon. The fish was estimated to be around 600 pounds and 10 feet long. After examining their remarkable catch and proudly showing it off to the camera, they decided to release the fish back into its habitat. Freshwater octopus.
Check it out, it's an octopus swimming through a creek.
This footage from Gig Harbor has been going viral online and even made headlines. It featured a full-grown male octopus swimming through a creek, known as Donkey Creek, had both fresh and salt water, and wasn't very wide. You might be thinking, what's so strange about an octopus swimming in water?
Pretty rare to see full-grown octopus at any stage in their life.
Well, according to experts, seeing an octopus in this environment is exceptionally rare. Octopuses are typically reclusive and secretive, making encounters outside of diving unusual. And this sighting possibly indicated the end of the octopus's life cycle. Dino tracks.
I don't know what kind of dinosaur made these tracks.
While working on a project in Texas, scientists discovered dinosaur tracks which were estimated to be around 100 million years old. The tracks were made by sauropods, the largest dinosaurs to have roamed the earth. Sauropods were enormous herbivores, measuring up to 100 feet in length and 60 feet in height. And the most interesting thing about them was that their necks were 6 times longer than a giraffe's. These dinosaurs weighed over 60 tons. The local geology indicates that Texas was teeming with dinosaurs when these tracks were made. Isn't it crazy how much you can tell with merely a bunch of footprints?
These are sauropod tracks.
Giant catch. This guy was out near a small stretch of water, hoping to catch a couple of small fish. But as he threw in the bait and waited for the tug, he couldn't believe his eyes when a gigantic emerged near the shore. The guy pulled it out of the water. Taking a closer look, it turned out to be an alligator garfish.
Holy shit.
It measured about 6 feet and weighed 140 pounds. It was the biggest fish the guy had ever caught. These fish are also known as the dinosaurs of the modern world, as they have remained relatively unchanged since about 100 million years ago, still swimming in the same areas they swam in the past. Mekong Giant.
The biggest freshwater fish that's ever been recorded.
Back in 2022, a local Cambodian fisherman made headlines by catching a record-breaking giant stingray in the Mekong River. The stingray, which weighed approximately 660 pounds and measured 13 feet in length, was nicknamed the Full Moon by the locals due to its massive size. This remarkable catch set a new record for the world's largest freshwater fish, surpassing the previous record of a 660-pound stingray also caught in the Mekong River. Scientists tagged it for research purposes and to preserve the species in its natural habitat. The stingray was released back into the river.
Now, you don't normally see stingrays that big, so you gotta ask yourself, what's in that water to cause them to grow substantially to that size? Like, what's in the water? There's gotta be something there, something maybe they're eating or something in the water. Is the oxygen levels in the water high or something? Like, those are the questions that we need to figure out. Why is this gigantic stingray existing right now when we have all these other little ones running around?
Gigantic gator.
An alligator nearly as long as an SUV, sauntering from one marsh to another.
This video of a gigantic alligator crossing a trail in Lakeland Park in Florida has gone viral on social media. A couple visiting filmed the gator during their hike and nicknamed it Godzilla because of its enormous size and prehistoric look. Estimated to be around 13 to 15 feet long, the gator has been a famous resident of the park for decades. And now, the viral video has been attracting many visitors to the normally quiet park, all hoping to see the giant gator. Octopus on a mission.
Question. Y'all hoping to see the gator, and he hoping one of y'all fall down so y'all can be his lunch or dinner. Like, they were laid down. I hope they secured the area to make sure another gator wasn't around while they just laying down on the ground, filming one gator when another one could sneak right up alongside you. Like, then they had the kids. I didn't like that at all.
For you, it's
Okay.
a battle between octopus and crab, and who do you think would win?
Well, I think octopus.
This crab was chilling on a rock, unaware of the danger lurking, when out of nowhere an octopus leaped out of the water, and it seemed to be on a mission. Jumped on the poor crab with no plan of letting go. Covering it with its body, the cephalopod took it with him underwater, and then it was lunchtime. Infested wetland. At first glance, it might look like a normal wetland with birds drinking and feeding, but as you look closely, you see the place ridden with hundreds of lethal reptiles. This clip was recorded in the Brazil side of Pantanal, the world's largest tropical wetland, and it seems this particular part has become home to all these caiman. Spread out as far as the sight went, submerged in the murky water, eating fish. They seem pretty relaxed. Now imagine having to cross this body of water. It's amazing to see how these caiman and jarabi live side by side without getting in each other's way. Monster goldfish. In Maple Grove, Minnesota, a couple of kids recently caught a massive goldfish in a lake near their home. Happy with their catch at first, the catch unintentionally highlighted a growing problem of monster goldfish appearing in freshwater lakes across the U.S. These former pets, when released into natural water bodies, wreak havoc on aquatic ecosystems. No one seems to know what caused these tiny ones to grow this big. However, some speculate excessive food in the lakes made them grow into giants. River monster. A couple of duck hunters were out on the hunt in a quarry in Florida when they encountered an unexpected competitor, an enormous alligator in their region. Or were the hunters in the gator's territory? The gator sneaked up on the unsuspecting duck and took it down in one fatal swoop. The sheer size of that reptile was enough to send shivers down the hunter's spine.
Number 2 of the day.
And decided it was better to keep their distance and stay safe. Texas fish swarm.
After thousands of dead fish washed ashore, state park and wildlife officials in Brazoria County are now warning people to stay away from the beach.
Last year, a very unfortunate scene was captured on the Freeport Beach, Texas, when a whole bunch of small fish turned up out of nowhere. The scene was pretty creepy, as nobody knew what had caused this mass stranding. Some said it was due to low oxygen in the water. Others blamed some secret government weapon they tested in the nearby area. The authorities warned people to not visit the beach, as the deceased fish might cause health issues. Walking fish. Now, have a look at these fish walking on the ground like land animals. A man recorded this bizarre sight near a roadside pond. He was caught off guard seeing these two fish jumping away and made their...
They know exactly where the water is. You seen that, how they navigated? They had a sense of direction. Like, how is that?
Way back into the water. As he had no idea what kind of fish they were, he uploaded the clip online, and someone revealed that these were perch, a kind of fish that's able to stay outside of water for extended periods of time, and they can also walk like that. Millipedes.
Fenomena Desa Sungai Raya.
At first glance, you might think these are just some twig-like leaves floating on the water, but then you see them moving and slithering, and the creepiness sets in. These are actually millipedes infesting a river in Indonesia. This unsettling sight caught the attention of the locals, who speculated about why these millipedes have grown so unusually large. It turns out that the murky waters provide the ideal conditions for them to thrive. Take a closer look at these long black worms. These sneaky crawlers were the perfect nightmare for any worm phobic.
Fenomena Desa Sungai Raya.
Frantic monster.
Ikan ka ular lah.
A guy was taking a walk home when he noticed something out of the ordinary in the nearby creek. From a distance, he saw the water splashing and bubbling. As the creek was known to have no fish or other aquatic life, he was confused, thinking what might be causing the disturbance in the water. After a few seconds, the bubbling subsided, and the water became more calm, making it even more mysterious. Let me know what it could be in the water. Now it's time for today's open discussion. This picture of a pale dragon in a lake has been taking the internet by storm. Thought to be mythical creatures for centuries. A clip has emerged that will change your mind. A guy claimed to have captured a real-life baby dragon swimming underwater during his boating trip. Considering how famous dragons are in Chinese folklore, many people believe the sighting is a good omen of good things happening in the region. However, whether this creature was truly the ancient mythical dragon or not remains a mystery.